Doctor, I'd like to tell you about a journal article that deals with proportional reasoning that I am reading for class. It is called Giant Pencils and it was written by Xtranormal.
Ah, yes, I have viewed that article as well. The journal article talks about an algebra teacher who begins her class each year with a proportional reasoning exercise. Hold on. This is Dr. Leslie. I'll call you back. I had better check on the patient.
I don't get it. Everyone nowadays is so scared of math. Math really makes sense if you think about it. Everything in our world is math.
Hold on. Got to check on John Doe. He will be alright, he just needs time to sleep it off. Proportional reasoning is used in so many facets of life and sometimes people don't even realize it. It's scary to think that someday some of these kids might even be operating on me. Teachers need to get some of them trained. My life depends on it.
Do you remember how this article mentioned that the teacher uses a type of project in which she has her students predict answers about the giant based on the pencil size? Pictures, or models, are up around the room for students to observe.
I am not sure. Refresh my memory, please.
In dealing with the giant's pencil, the teacher asks the students to determine things like how tall the giant is, and how much the giant might weigh. She then asks some questions where students have to apply their knowledge. They have to determine how many times larger is the giant than they are and how big would a giant's desk need to be.
Yes, I remember. Some of the students had issues with the proportional reasoning. They were trying to add instead of multiply. It was crazy. It would be like me saying, for example, that a patient who was 50 pounds gets 100 milligrams of Dimerol before an appendectomy. If this patient weighed 200 pounds, then according to these students, he would only need to take 104 milligrams of Dimerol. That's insane. He wouldn't be very happy with me. He would much rather have his 400 milligrams of his cocktail before surgery.
Oh, yes. The article explains that some students were geniuses in solving proportions, but others were trying to make the connections doing addition instead of multiplication. In some situations, adding will work, like when something is being doubled, we can either add or multiply by 2. Also, if we are talking about something occurring at the same rate such as running laps around a track or aging, adding will work. But students have to know when it's okay to add and when it's not. Multiplicative reasoning is needed much more often than additive reasoning. My prisoner sounds terrible.
He just had a little too much fun last night. Oh, yes, I remember some students faced issues in dealing with different units. Students would change from inches to feet because their answer didn't make sense. For example, 12 inches didn't make sense, then they might say 12 feet. The article also mentioned that there were multiple ways to solve these proportional problems, but students had an extremely difficult time justifying their answers, even when they were correct.
In the article, Ms. J mentions that the students would question themselves when adding to calculate the giant's height. My sister is a middle school math teacher. I talked to her about this article, also. She was very surprised that the algebra students thought about the reasonableness of their answers. She claims that her students are in such a hurry to finish work and projects that they spend little to no time thinking and checking over their work. She says that this reasonableness is even a math technique that students should be considering with all math problems.
That definitely is a problem today. People do not think, period. It is not just kids. It is adults, too. We have to get this train of thought back in our children. They are our future.
Wow, I never knew that this article could create such an exciting and informed discussion amongst us. Ignoring dash, I also thought about some of the extensions mentioned. I like how the teacher moved from area-type questions to volume-type questions like how many giants could fit into the classroom.
I just think that this would be a fun activity for our students. They need to develop a passion for education and knowledge. That desire to learn needs to be present, and what an awesome activity to use to teach our youngsters about proportional thinking. This concept is so very important in everyone's lives, we use it daily. I am so glad we had the opportunity to discuss this. Thanks, I'm glad we had the chance to visit. Just let your prisoner sleep it off here, then you can take him in. Good day, friend.
Peace. I'm sure we will meet again soon.